Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United agenda. And yes, it is a reflection of the Derby Day defeat against Manchester City. So, everyone, welcome to the Man United agenda. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United agenda. Very disappointed weekend Sunday, but as always, we are joined by an absolute legend of panels. So, Mr. B in the building. Hello, sir.
Oh, thanks. Oh, you're talking about me. Bless you, man.
We get birthday boy and everything. The weekend celebration. It's not your birthday. It's not the end of your birthday until the end of next week for Mr. B.
I'll take that.
Celebrating it. And as always, on Monday in the corner, let's get ready to rumble. Yes, on Monday. And as always, we got Jay in the building. Big up, Jay. Jay's been doing things, isn't it? And it's running, man. What's going on, Jay, man? You putting us to shame.
I don't know about that. You know what? I had to go running, man. I had an awful weekend eating junk all weekend. So I thought, right, needs to get back out there. Because the trouble is I keep pulling muscles and all that as well. I'm getting on a bit. Do you know what I mean? So, and I went out there, had a run, thought, right, I've had a run now, feel better, I'm all set for the derby. And then, that happened, didn't it?
No comment. That's all we say. We keep that quiet. No comment about the derby game. We'll keep quiet.
There's going to be a short podcast then.
Oh, it probably will be. Yeah, it will be.
That's the end of that then. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. See you next week. Everyone. Thank you. See you next week, guys. See you next week. So, guys, first thing we're going to jump into is Demolition on Derby Day. Guys, very disappointed. Team news came out, obviously, there was no Ronaldo. I don't know if sort of something was happened to him the night before, but I think it was a couple of hours before the actual game itself, he was ruled out. So obviously we have Elanga playing as a false number 9 in the game. So let's kickstart and find out what actually went wrong in the Derby game. Because first half, the first sort of 5 minutes, Mr. B, stop it now. The first sort of 5 minutes, 6 minutes, we conceded a goal. Then Jadon Sancho with that absolutely beautiful strike brought us back in. It was sweet chin music. That's all I could say to you that goal was. So let's kickstart it and let's go to Mr. J. Jay, help us out with this conspiracy theory, because I think we need to have a replay, don't we?
Go on. What's the conspiracy theory about? Is that about Ronaldo? Sorry.
No. About how badly we got beaten up. We need a.
Oh right, sorry. I thought you was like there was some sort of
It happened. It actually happened.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's a
theory. Listen, I haven't woke up yet. I've not woken up from I'm dreaming.
I don't think it's much of a conspiracy theory. I think Manchester United players just didn't turn up. It's that simple. There's no conspiracy about it. I think you look at that first half, and we were very lucky for me to go into the half time at only 1 goal behind City, because some of our defending was woeful. You look at the effort. You look at De Bruyne for, I think it's his second goal. He literally, I think it's Foden beats Lindelof to the ball. Kevin De Bruyne runs past 4 Manchester United players to get that rebound and score that goal completely unmarked. That's unforgivable. And don't get me started on the first goal either. That was equally as bad, if not worse. So you look at that and you think Jadon Sancho with a great goal. And then we did create chances, to be fair to us. He had another chance, Sancho, and Fred, your boy, had a chance as well. So it wasn't all one way, but I thought that the way we defended, the way they were hammering that left-hand side, our right-hand side, we were quite fortunate, in my opinion, to be only a goal behind, still in it. But that performance in the second half was genuinely one of the worst performances I've ever seen by Manchester United side. Now, that might sound melodramatic, yeah? I'm not one for melodrama, but there was no effort. We didn't look like we were ever going to get back into the game. We let them get goal after goal after goal without ever doing anything about it. They could have had a lot more. You look at players like, you've got Cancelo, who's a fullback, scissor kicking it in our area with all the time and space in the world around him. You've got players like Mahrez. He has a shot, I think, on the edge of the box from a corner. 5 minutes later, a carbon copy, another shot, and this time he scores. There was no one was learning, no one was trying. Midfield non-existent. And the substitutions didn't do anything. And I just thought, I cannot believe I'm watching a Manchester United side playing against one of our fierce rivals in a Manchester derby with the level of effort or lack of effort I was witnessing. it was just shambolic. Now, listen, I'll end on this because I've spoken quite a while. I know Manchester City have got better players. I know that you look at the quality they've got and you think, okay, if we're being brutally honest, how many of our players get into their 11? Not many. Well, that's no excuse for not running, for not trying to get hold of the ball, for not sticking a foot in, for not just doing the basics. You can see Aaron Wan-Bissaka's having a shocker. So you keep giving him the ball, and then once you give it in, you're standing on your heels. You're not even trying to help him out. You're not even offering him anything. It was just awful from start to finish in that second half from Manchester United. And I was ashamed of it. I was ashamed as a Manchester United fan and embarrassed by it. And I hope the players were ashamed and embarrassed too, because it's just not good enough.
Omondi, plea to the defense, because Omondi been talking to us and he's been sort of seeing certain things, pattern of play, certain improvement. But the first half, Omondi, you were alluded to today, saying you didn't think it was a bad first half. Second half is probably where the problem lies. But as what Jay just said there, for me as well, I found the overall performance, apart from take the Jadon Sancho goal away from it, that was probably the highlight of the whole game.
Beautiful. Absolute beautiful goal. I really enjoyed that goal, and I really enjoyed the way we were playing in the first half. He set up it slightly differently. You said Elanga was playing as a false nine. I think it was sort of Pogba was playing as a false nine with Bruno pressing from the top like that. It was really interesting the way they set up like that, and I think it did work. We did have kind of control the game more so. If you compare it to the second half, we controlled the game more so. Obviously, errors were made for the goal, and errors will always be made for the goal. And these days, you can in the old days, you go to the game and you might see one replay and you wouldn't be able to really assess it. And now you can really break things down and you can really break things down and really sort of assess where things are going wrong. And there were some mistakes by the defence. We did give the ball away, obviously, for them to get the ball back for their 2 goals in the first half. And when you really break them down, you have to say it could have been stopped. That's the thing. If you look back, they could have done something differently there to stop those goals going in. The desire factor, I think that comes from exhaustion, and that comes from being outplayed by a better team with a better philosophy, with well drilled, and eventually they're going to wear you out. And eventually you can say, what's the point in pressing? They're just going to pass it off, which they do time and time again to most teams. As I was saying before the show to you guys, this is nothing new. Pep, we've been to 5 Champions League finals. We've won 3 of them. The 2 we've lost were to Pep, and they were exhibitions. They really outplayed us at the park. No one was saying we didn't have desire at Wembley or in Roma. No one was saying that. We were saying, it was just the better team won. So I sensed that Gary Neville was saying a lot in the commentary, saying, look at these guys, haven't got desire. But he was played in 2 finals where they got outplayed as well. I think it's hard for players when you haven't got a system, you haven't got a system of play, you haven't got no strategy, and then you're asked to press time and time again. You think, what's the point in pressing these guys? So I think in the second half we were just deflated and exhausted and couldn't even think straight, and that's why that's what they do to teams. So first half was good. There's a lot to build on there. The goal was fantastic, but beyond that, we can break it down and say a lot of disappointments.
Before I get to Mr. B, though, Omondi, do you really and truly think we went into, you're saying about Gary Neville was in 2 of those finals, but they got outclassed.
He wasn't, by the way.
So
it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not being pedantic. I'm just pointing.
That's
true. You're right. I did think that.
So with it though, when you look at it, and you were talking about sort of getting outclassed by Pep Guardiola and his team. But with this team, it's almost I know you're saying about Gary Neville is making suggestion and sort of with it, but I, for one, I didn't see the full game. I watched the highlights. And from what the highlights I saw, these guys seem like they gave up. So coming to Mr. B now, Mr. B, did they actually give up? Or is it a case of what Omondi is saying, they sort of lost that energy and they didn't have the ability to sort of keep up with City?
Due to City's high level of play.
High press, yeah.
Look, I see Omondi's point, but I would like to think that the least you can do is try for an hour and a half. A lot of those players didn't have the. I looked at the game. I did the watch along, and when they scored, I wasn't even mad. Normally I'm, if I just, it's the same thing week after week. If it's one game against Man City and you're clapping up everybody else, you can accept that. But these are things that we've been seeing game after game after. We drew with Watford. All right, we had a lot of chances, but we still drew with Watford. So I'm just beginning to see now it's the same old. They didn't try them up. To me, on Monday, as I said, everybody sees things differently, but I don't think they gave the amount of effort that they should have done. We were still in the game at 2-1. All right, they played better than we did, and when we had the ball, we were well. But defensively, as Jay said, De Bruyne ran past 4 players. Everybody's good at running forward and looking ahead, but as soon as somebody has to turn their back and run in reverse, nobody's interested. And that's what happened in the game, my opinion.
Yeah, it is hard to take as well. And having City fans on the channel before kickoff as well, so not going to name names, but absolutely giving it. And then for them to go and do this 2-up, it's painful, especially to, the Etihad as well, going to the Etihad and going there and absolutely losing the way we lost to them. For me, it's disgraceful. It's embarrassing. And I think Ralf has got a way of system that he wants to play. He's got a sort of style what he wants to do. But Jay, why do you think these guys are not actually, it's not getting embedded in them at all? And it's almost like he's got everything going, but they're not taking the information on board correctly.
I think I wouldn't say it's not getting embedded at all. I think that going into the derby, whilst the results haven't been amazing, there's been too many draws against weaker teams. There were signs for me that I could see what he was trying to do. We were creating a lot of chances. We just weren't finishing. I think we created the most chances out of anyone in the Premier League since Rangnick took over, or one of the highest anyway. So you look at it, you can say, okay, we're making steps forward. And I think the derby was so far removed from what we've seen previously under Ralf Rangnick. It was terrible for me personally, and I don't think I've seen a performance that bad under Rangnick. So I don't think it's a case of since he's come in, no one's listened to him or he hasn't been able to implement his style. I think he has, and I think he's adapted as well. I think he's done well in adapting. He went for that 4-2-2-2 and he changed it. And he went for more of a 4-3-3 and he's getting a little bit of joy out of that. But I think that part of the problem is, he came in with this reputation for the gegenpress, and that was his ethos, that's his philosophy. Now you look at someone like Jurgen Klopp, who's a bit of a protege of Ralf Rangnick. He's someone that sort of studied him and praises him and says he was like a mentor to me. When Jurgen Klopp came into Liverpool, for starters, he came into a Liverpool side that under Brendan Rodgers had a similar-ish style, not identical, but similar-ish style, and he took it to another level. And he did that over a number of years. He brought in certain players. You look at Liverpool team 4 years after Jurgen Klopp was there. There's only Firmino and Jordan Henderson that was in the team. Ralf Rangnick's coming. He's had months. He's got weeks and months to try and change this, to try and implement it. It's not easy. So I think he's had to adapt it and sort of compensate for that. He's also lost 3 strikers through no fault of his own. Cavani's not available. Greenwood's not available. Martial didn't want to stay, so he's let him go to Sevilla. So with all these factors, it's not easy for Ralf Rangnick. So I do sympathise with him. So I don't think it's necessarily a case of these players aren't listening to him or, he's lost them already. I just feel that, for me, whilst I understand what you're saying, Monday, City can press you to death. They can. Everyone's seen that. I understand, the 2009 Champions League final, 2011 Champions League final, yes, you can get knackered when you're up against the Pep Guardiola team. But some of those performances for me just weren't good enough. And I think there was one start, 92% possession for 15 minutes. You've got to do better than that. You have, because we're getting the ball and we're just giving it away. Just literally, there's no excuse for that. Getting the ball and just hoofing it straight to a blue shirt. At least have a little bit of composure. You've got experienced players there. At least play a couple of just sideways passes. Just keep holding the ball for 30 seconds. Take the sting out of the game. Don't just keep hoofing it. Don't just keep throwing your arms around and looking around you when another man goes in or another goal goes in. You just need a little bit of composure, a little bit of leadership, a little bit of experience. And we've got players that have played hundreds of games for Manchester United. And yet, for me, they look like a team that everyone was making a debut. And that was a disappointing thing. I just felt like it became a training ground game for Manchester City. And City are good. They are. There's no denying it. They're top of the league for a reason. But, we've seen Spurs beat City 2 weeks ago. We've seen Southampton draw with City 3 weeks ago. This City team isn't unbeatable. We just made them look like that because we played into their hands. You can't do what we did. And that was the most disappointing thing for me. After that first half where, like everyone said, we were in the game, the second half, Pep got it right, admittedly. You know, he did what he had to do. But I felt we should have been a lot better than we were in that second half because for me, I got the impression that some of those players are just giving up. It felt like they just, do you know what I mean? They were like, we've lost this. It's done. And I think even Scott McTominay after the game sort of alluded to it himself.
Yeah.
He said, you know, certain people, and ironically, I thought he was one of the culprits, but he said it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like me, you know what I mean? It's a little bit like me going on here going, look at Mr. B with no hair, man. Seriously. Oh, geezer on here, man. Imagine having no hair.
That's true. That's a good point. Good point.
So I thought there was a little bit of that, you know what I mean? But I think the players aren't stupid. They must know themselves. You can't play like that or see that performance and feel good about it. And now, you know, we've got a big game against Spurs coming up, an even bigger one against Atletico Madrid. And we've got to sort this out because, you know, this has to be a bit of a one-off. This can't be the beginning of the demise of the Rangnick era. This has to be a bit of an outlier. And hopefully it can be, because I think if you look at all the games we played under Ralf Rangnick, that's easily the worst one. And it isn't par for the course. It isn't what we usually see from this team under Ralf Rangnick. So this is why I'm hoping, and okay, might be more hope than expectation, he can turn it around and get back to some of the football we were seeing before the derby.
Brilliant, thank you. On Monday, kicking in with what sort of Jay's alluded to as well with Ralf Rangnick. This is probably the worst performance. To be honest with you, and I think Mr. B is in the same camp as me, Man City beating us was no surprise to me. It wasn't a surprise, but it's the willingness and it's the desire and determination of the players, which spoke about like players coming out after sort of the game and stuff like that. Press, oh, we're sorry. Is it a case now where fans are just fed up now, Monday, with this whole thing with constantly sorry?
Not really, no. We've only lost one game prior to that, to Wolves. I don't know where the sorry is coming from. Obviously, in a derby, you have to apologise for the performance because, like, the feeling people watching on TV would have heard that we're not giving our all. They would have heard in the studio from former players that we're not giving our all. And well, what's the solution? To go around kicking people to say you're better than us, or how dare you, play this sort of football on us? We're going to kick you and get ourselves sent off. I mean, what do you do in that sort of situation? It's soul destroying in a way for a player to be constantly running around and can't even get the ball. As Jay was saying, I mean, there's a couple of times we couldn't even string 2-3 passes together. The 90% stats or the 8% stat for 15 minutes, it was really bad. It's really bad. And for professional players, it's like, that is really embarrassing. That's like embarrassing. If you're being nuts by someone or if someone does a skill on you, I'm not going to let him beat me like that kind of thing. But when a team does it and outplays you in that way, it's demoralizing for everybody. And I think this is what Man City do. They control the game. This is a brand of football they brought to the Premiership that some people felt wouldn't work. But years in now, with all these small little guys, technical guys, it is working. They keep the ball. It's not and you say they're not physical, but they were roughing up a few of our players as well. I've seen a lot of challenges there. Wan-Bissaka, and you're saying, well, the desire is there as well. So they've got the edge in all senses. They're technically better. They work harder. They know what they're supposed to do. They're drilled, and then occasionally they give you a little thing and get the crowd going. So fair play to them. I have to salute that brand of football. That's what the game is a beautiful game. We all love the game of football, and there's certain styles of how you play. You look throughout the league, there's different tactics how to play it. And at the moment, Liverpool have got a certain system which works for them, and City have got a system that works for them, and they're doing really well. And then we're miles off them. So we have to create our own system, maybe take some pointers from them, what we saw last night, what we play against these teams, and not just that, throughout the whole club, which I suppose we're going to go on to, but on the pitch, I just think the players aren't good enough. The reason we couldn't keep the ball and the reason why we have this difficulty, we said this for a long time during the Man United agenda. We've been going for we had our anniversary yet? We had a year yet?
No, not yet. In a few weeks.
Right.
A week.
Whenever it comes out, I know it's due.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, from day one, since I've bucked up with you guys, it's always been the same about we can't keep the ball because we don't have those sort of footballers that do that. In the first half, what I was impressed with Pogba playing high up, his touches, pop, 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 keeping the ball, building as a team. That's why we scored our goal. We built as a team. It wasn't just one long ball and expecting them to take on 4 or 5 players, you know, a 1-on-1 against 4. It was built as a team, and it was good cohesion, you know, and good movement. And Bruno's with the overlap gave Jadon Sancho obviously the chance to cut inside. So things like that I'm really impressed with, and that shows that's been worked on. So I'm picking out Bruno, I'm picking out Pogba. These are the players that can keep the ball. I think Matic can keep the ball. So if you want control of the game, you need players that when they do get it in certain areas, they can keep the ball like we were in the last 15 minutes or something. Give it to Matic. He can hold on to it, maybe get a foul, but he'll be passing it out. Not like rushing and losing the ball so easily. So there's so many things we can talk about. But the thing is, we are on a repair job here. We are wounded for the last couple of years. We haven't won a league since 2013. So we're wounded. So this is the repair job. Finally, it's the first time I'm seeing put a plaster on the damage that we've done over the last thing. Someone's coming in and we're trying to sort the problem. And to do that, sometimes you get exposed. And yesterday was an exposure to say, this is how far we still got to go. So I support Ralf. I just think some of the players possibly aren't good enough. Not that they don't work hard enough. Technically, that's my first concern would be technically they're probably not good enough.
Well, you was laughing then, Solo. What was you giggling?
Well,
at
me and Mr. B both laughing. I don't know if you know it, but Amonde's got this thing with Matic and Maguire. They should play every game.
What I'm saying, the reason my thing is Matic should play. He controls the game, and I think you got Rodri strolling around the park. Matic can do the same thing. Keep hold of the ball in certain times. It's really important.
Do you know what though? Do you know what? I ain't even gonna lie. Like I agree with Amonde about the Matic.
Oh no, Jay.
Now, do you know what? Right. All right. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Yeah. Genuine question. Who was our best midfielder against Atletico Madrid in that second half?
Matic.
Thank you. Right. He came on. He did it. Who's our best midfielder over the course of the game against Watford?
Oh, fair enough. I'll give him that one. 100%.
Like, we didn't have any possession. You know when you've got, right? I know I'm not explaining just to you guys, because I know you know, but certain people watching. If you've got 8% possession, right? That means you've got no possession. That is you taking goal kicks. That's it. That's you taking a throw-in and a goal kick. You've got no possession, right? That is it. That is they are having all the ball and they're shooting, and it might go over, and then you have a goal kick. That's your bit of possession. Yeah. So you need someone who can just get hold of the ball, put a foot on it, show a bit of composure, sit in front of the defense. Matic, unfortunately, because of his age, is the only player we've got who can do that. McTominay and Fred are not that type of player that just has to play there. So when you've got no possession at all, bring on someone who can keep hold of the ball for at least a minute, 30 seconds, just pop it around a little bit. Matic can do that. He did it against Atletico, helped get us back in the game. Against Watford, okay, we should be keeping the ball against Watford, let's not pretend. But he played well, so why not? Why not bring him on? Because let's face facts, Jesse Lingard comes on. I know he's a different type of player. He had 2 touches. 2 touches. Like, you know what I mean? Come on, man. That's like, it's unreal. Like, these stats are just unbelievable. So I would have brought Matic on. I said it at the time on my watch along. I said, someone like Matic could come on now and get a bit of a hold of this midfield because, let's face facts, Manchester City, they were just, it was like a training game for him.
It was, wasn't it? They didn't first game. So,
you know, I know Matic can't play the game because of his age or whatever, and I'm not quite there on the Maguire opinion, but definitely with Nemanja Matic. I'm with him Monday, man. I am. I'm with you, bro.
On Monday, it's 1-1. He's not sure about one, but he's sure about the other.
I never said anything about Maguire. I never said anything about Maguire. Come on, let that go.
Could I just
throw you under the bus?
Hold on. What is it, Mr. B?
Could I ask a question then?
Let it go.
Exactly. Question. So, is it a formation issue where, because against Watford, what did we play? 4-2. Did we play the 4-2-3-1 against Watford?
4-3-3.
We played the 4-3-3.
4-3-3, yeah.
Against Atletico in the second half, what were we playing? Was it a 4-3-3 again?
I think we made sub 65 minutes. I don't think the sub light for light.
I was in the Madrid end behind the goal. I was in front of United fans, so I couldn't see. You know, all I know is about that goal, about that second half. I thought he'd scuffed it, you know, Elanga. And I stood up, and I was about to because I can't help myself. I was a Madrid fans, but you can't control yourself, can you? I was like, oh, and then it went in, and next thing I was like, yes. And then I panicked and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get done in because I'm a Madrid fan. And loads of people were celebrating that around me.
Oh, brilliant.
Honestly. But yeah, so I couldn't tell you what the formation was. I just remember that second half in Madrid, Matic got hold of the ball a lot and he was trying to make things happen. And I thought, I like what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like with Matic, there's certain games or certain periods in a game you can do with him. And I think that would have been one, to be honest with you, because I felt the Pogba swap for Lingard, it just didn't work. It didn't work at all. It just didn't. It had zero effect. In fact, it was probably detrimental, to be honest.
It's terrible. So, guys, let's go around the room quickly and we're just going to talk about substitution. We spoke about Lingard substitution. What's going on at the moment with Marcus Rashford? Why? Again, same as Lingard. It's almost like his head's dropped. I don't know whether or not the rumor is regarding a new contract or he wants to leave the club. I'm not sure. What's your take on this, Jay?
I just was asked about this earlier on the radio. For starters, I can understand someone's upset at not being in the team. Right? I get it. You should always want to be in the team. You should always desire to get in the team. But I just feel like if this is him actually saying this or his people or whatever briefing the press, it's a little bit disappointing after a 4-1 loss to City that we've got this drama and we've got these things coming out. We could probably do without it. Secondly, I think we have to be honest about Marcus Rashford's form. I love Marcus Rashford. He's my favourite player for a multitude of reasons. I love the kid on and off the pitch. But his form over the last 5 or 6 weeks has been woeful. I'm sorry it has. Watching those performances, I think about the Brighton game. I think Madrid wasn't great, to be honest with you. He just looks like he's bereft of confidence. He's giving the ball away a lot. It's not really happening for him. So I just feel like you have to be a little bit self-aware and think, okay, why am I not in the team? I'm not in the team because I'm not playing at the levels that I should be. And to sort of go, right, if he has said, if I'm not in the team, I want to go, then that's a bit much. He might just be like, you know what? I'm a bit upset that I'm not in the team. That might be it. I don't know the full details of it. But it seems like it's more of a case of he's saying, I want to know why I'm not in the team. And I think you should know why. Because you're just not performing at the levels you should. And it must be worrying for Marcus Rashford because you had Cavani and Ronaldo out. You also had, obviously, you've got no Greenwood. Martial's gone out on loan, and you still can't get in the team. That's worrying. But I think if Marcus Rashford gets his head down and performs at the levels that he can, he'll walk into this Manchester United team easily. And that's what he should be doing.
18 in the chat, guys. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like and share. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. OMONDI, Rashford, is it a case of can't really him not playing, or what's the situation? What's your feeling regarding him at the moment on his form?
Well, we were discussing this earlier. I think, like I said, anniversary coming up. I remember a year ago we were saying the same thing. I was disappointed with his form. Athletically, he can sprint. He's put on a bit of physical as well. He's well prepared for the game physically, but spiritually and emotionally, I don't think he's there. And mentally, with decision making, I think his game he'd become twice the player he is if his decision making was on point. I find that he does the wrong things, too direct, runs into traffic a lot of the time, always wants to turn and shoot. If I'm up against him, I know you're going to cut inside, you're going to try and shoot, you're going to jockey. It's all you have to do is stand him up. You know, I haven't seen the game develop, and I think you need to say to somebody, yeah, you're great, you're physical, you can run fast, all these kind of things, but you need to improve. And you've got a lot of great players around you and a great club that we have, like Mata, Cavani, Ronaldo, all these senior players. They need to, and even look, you've got Sancho's come in, and Sancho's doing all the stuff that I feel I want you to do. And if you had that with extra pace, you got more pace than Sancho, and you could play a better game similar to Sancho, pop, similar, you know, square people up. Don't always drive. You know, slow it up, mix it up, make the defender think. That kind of thing. Use your options. How many assists does he get? He should get a whirl of assists with his pace. That kind of thing. I remember Kanchelski just get the ball, touch down the right wing, just direct. You know what he's going to do, but with his pace, it's so outstanding. You won't be able to stop him. You know, and score goals. I think Kanchelski scored about 17 up to 20 goals in one season, one time from right midfield. You know, it's crazy. And Rashford's got that pace. He can deliver in that sort of sense as well. So there's so many things there's so many factors where I think Rashford could improve. But it's, like I say, it's mental, whatever's going on for him spiritually and emotionally as well. His decision making needs to improve, and he will become twice the player and the player that we all felt he could become.
Mr. B, put it on to you right now, straight away. Rashford, current form, because I know you love that boy as well.
I do. His form's been crap. Let's be honest. But I said, look, I will say every week. What's the point? He's been playing shit. He don't deserve to play. He'll go and ask the manager why he's not playing. Know why you're not playing. You know, as Jay said, get your head down, do the work. I'm hearing rumors that he wants to leave. Listen, that's contract talks. I don't want to hear nothing about Rashford leaving the club. I don't care. I don't want to hear nothing. As I keep saying, I have no slander. No slander will come out of my mouth about Marcus Rashford.
And that's it. So, guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe. Now to the and guys, apologies. We are going through the next topic, and the next topic is major reconstruction of the club from top to bottom. Is this it is a major problem at the club at the moment. When we look at club like City, unfortunately, Liverpool, unfortunately, the way the club from top to bottom is run, it's almost like they've got a direction of what's going on at the club. At Man United, it seems like the arse don't know the elbow, basically. Simple as that. So Jay,
the what?
Oh,
the what?
I don't worry about it.
Was that? Right. No, we're not just letting that slide. The what? It's like the arse doesn't know that there's an elbow.
The arse doesn't know the elbow.
It's a soloism.
It's a soloism. I had to get that one in. Do you
know what worries me about these things when I come on here? You say these things and these two don't even react.
No, but you get away with it, Jay.
I'm sitting there going, the ass doesn't know there's an elbow. What?
Jay, I would have got away with it. Jay, I'll get away with it every week if you didn't bring it up.
I have to for my sanity. I have to go, whoa, wait a minute. That wasn't normal. What did he just say? I've heard of you don't know your ass from your elbow, but I've never heard of the ass doesn't know there's an elbow.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Do you know what, right?
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
I was thinking this morning, right? There's only one guy that can cheer me up, one show that can cheer me up after this time, and it's you lot. Honestly, you crap me up all the time. And seriously, don't ever think seriously,
brilliant.
And you even got a little bit incredulous when I pulled you on it, like it was me being wrong. You were like, yeah.
You know what is, Jay? I was going to get Mr. B to come sort you out.
Sorry, Dad.
Oh, that's right.
I ain't doing that. Don't send me Dad on me. He'll ground me. Oh. Seriously, man.
You got to do a slogan book of slogans.
I have got my slogan, though, isn't it? I got my. What's your thoughts? What else is it?
There's quite a few. The show's not long enough. Show's not long enough. It'll
be like the Yellow Pages. It'll be like the phone directory. Sorry, Solo. Go on. I interrupted you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro.
This is live TV. We can't go back.
Live, yeah.
So if you think it and it comes out your mouth,
I have to flag. Listen, you're not alone, Solo, because I still remember David Moyes. You know Mr. B sat there, like, giving the big one. Yeah, I will never forget that one as well. So let's
That's intentional. That's intentional.
Yeah, I mean,
you just never heard it before. Right, subject. We're closing. Let's get this subject out of the way.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh. So I'm getting told off in the private chat as well.
Good.
Oh, we ain't got much time. Let's get this done.
Reconstruction at the club.
Sorry. I think I need some major reconstruction after this podcast. I'm losing my marbles, man.
Oh.
Right.
So I was saying about it. Do you think it's going to be quite major? Sort of like what's going on off the pitch at the moment.
Can I just cut in quick because I've just got a couple of numbers. Because I know you weren't going to ask me first, but I'm going to say something. Right. We've got next season. We've got Mengi, Jones, who's got an option for a year. Chong, Dalot, Twanzebe, Matic, Fred, who's got an extra option, all out in 2023. Heaton, extra year. Shaw, extra year. Rashford, extra year. De Gea, extra year option. So that's 2023. We've then got 2024. We've got Ronaldo. It seems to be the only one out in 2024. Everybody else, and then you're talking about Pogba. My opinion, we need a massive reconstruction.
Wow. Okay.
That was the surveyor with the surveyor report. Well done.
Well done, the surveyor. So yeah, is it going to be a massive rebuild? Because I know Omonde is going to touch on it in a minute, and about the youngsters and bringing them back in and having the young with the sort of old as well to try and sort of rekindle the class of '92. So Jay,
Yeah, I think so. Do you remember when David Moyes said we need to improve on
David Moyes?
David Moyes, yeah. Do you remember David Moyes when he's United manager and said we need to improve on passing, tackling, shooting, and dribbling? And everyone was laughing like, well, that's everything then. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to improve on basically every facet of the game. And he said it with a straight face, like that was a normal thing. Like, we're all right apart from all that. And I feel like that's how we are at United in a minute. It's like we need to improve on defending, we need to improve midfield, we need to improve on attack. I think we've got a lot of short-term players at the minute. We know, as Mr. B just pointed out, the players are going to leave. You know, you look at the likes of Lingard, Pogba, Cavani, of course. I don't know if we don't get top four. I think Ronaldo will go. I don't think he's going to play in the Europa Conference. I don't think he will. So you've got a few players that you know are going to go, maybe one or two others who are going to leave as well. And then you look at some of the youngsters coming through, and I like some of these young players. You know, you guys are always talking about the players who do some good work around that. And I like, you know, James Garner's doing well at Forest. Ethan Lair's doing well on loan. I think he's at Bournemouth, I think. I can't remember. I was getting mixed up, but he's gone because he moved, didn't he? You look at the likes of Chong, who was doing bits at Birmingham before his injury. We have got some good young players. McNeil coming through the academy. But that's the great unknown. You're not just going to get another class of 92 where you just throw them all in and win you a double. So, yes, you can have those players coming in. I want to see some of those players come in. But you need some experience as well. You need some quality coming in as well. And that's why, in answer to your question, it's a long-winded answer. Yes, we do need major reconstruction. But it has to be the right type of reconstruction, because we've been so haphazard in the transfer market over the last 7 or 8 years. We've bought players in. We've spent 70, 80 million pounds on players. You know, we spent, 67 million quid on Di Maria. A month later, he told us he didn't want to be here. We sell him for, you know, we spend a lot of money on Lukaku. The next manager comes in, don't fancy him. We take a loss on that. We have to start thinking more long-term with some of our signings. Instead of going out and buying an 80 million pound player, a 70 million pound player, maybe we need to go out and buy 3 or 4 40 million pound players. Maybe we do need to do a pains me to say it, a little bit of an Arsenal. I'm sorry, because I've got the club is a bit of a joke. But look at them. Like, they've gone out and they spent 35, 40, 50 million on a few players, rejuvenate the squad, got a few youngsters coming in, like Saka, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli, who we didn't fancy, by the way. We had him on trial and got rid of him. And now they're looking all right. They're looking like they're in an actual top 4 fight. Whereas with us, we need a major overhaul. But I think, you know, we've got a budget of 150 million. Rather than going out and buying 2 players for that, maybe we need to spread out a little, because, you know, there's lots of areas that need improvement, and there's players that are going to leave.
Right, on Monday, you got 30 seconds about rebuilding.
That sounds harsh. I'm sorry, Amanda, if I took some of your time now.
No. He's only got 30 seconds too.
I'll sum it up with this. You know me, I'm a man of the Bible and things. So if you build your house on sand and the storm comes, you get washed away. And that's what's happening right now. So I think with the right foundations, build your house on rock. So in rough times, like yesterday, we'll be able to survive the storm. That works, you know, that works for me. And I think we haven't done that for a long time now. And we need to change that. And I think that's the direction we need to go in. Start building our house on rock, build our foundation, make it strong. And that comes from all the way from the bottom of the club, all the way through. As we saw, the under 18s lost to the City the other day. So that's the model there. The City have done it really well. Their owners are invested in the club as well. Maybe ours aren't. And, you know, so we have to compare the two. And when we measure up, we see they built a house on rock. And that's when the storm comes. We play each other in derbies. When it comes to winning major trophies, They're doing it and we're not. So that's the issue there. We built our house on sand.
Mr. B.
I like Amonde's analogy. I'm not rude in that. Amonde, touche, bruv.
Shalom.
Jay, where can we find you, sir? Because I know
you can find me. Listen, you know where to find me. I'm everywhere. I'm do you know what I mean? Someone was in the chat saying, "I've just seen you on the BBC." I mean, I forgot I've done that. That's how bad I am. So you know where to find me, but you need to check out these guys. We've just been beaten 4-1 off Manchester City, and as a proud Mancunian, I was gutted, but I've come on here and I've had a right laugh tonight, as I always do. So make sure you are following this channel. It's the only channel where you can get. We need to build our house on solid foundations. Instead of building it on sand, we need to build it on rock. And you can also get the arse stunt known as an elbow. In the same show, It's one extreme to the other.
Preach as preach.
There's no show like this, trust me. We've been doing this for a long time. There's nothing like this.
Guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, and please subscribe to the Man United Agenda. You had Mr. B, Omonde, and Jay, and as always, I'm Solo, and I can't remember what Mr. B called me Ism, Soloism, or whatever he wants to call me. I am Solo. So from us tonight, apologies we couldn't read out all the comments, but have a lovely evening. Good night, everyone.